Hey guys, what's up? It's Lydia Marie. Welcome back to my channel. Today, you guys, I'm just doing a quick vlog and I wanted to talk about moving to Charlotte. So you want to move to Charlotte? I hear that a lot. What's Charlotte like? What's it about? I've been here it'll be 3 years in July, so I'm still fairly new to the city, but I wanted to come on and make a quick vlog about my experiences and my opinion about moving to Charlotte. So if you want to learn more about it, I hope you'll keep watching. If you're new here, my name is Lydia Marie. I'm a 40-something beauty blogger currently living in Charlotte, North Carolina. This channel is about fashion, makeup, beauty, skincare, lifestyle, all kind of things. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't want to miss a thing. So let's get into it. So like I said, I moved to Charlotte 2.5 years ago. I have been here in July 2018, I believe. Yeah, so it'll be 3 years this July. Let me just preface this by saying I do not have children, so I cannot speak. This video won't be about how the school systems are, what's the best area for families. I don't know about all that, okay? Secondly, every thought and opinion, suggestion that I'm making in this video, every opinion and thought are my own experiences. This is my personal account of things. So if you've had a different experiences or if you see things differently and things like that, totally respect that. But this is my account and my opinion on moving to Charlotte, right? So I had a pretty much unconventional move here. I was looking at cities. I moved here from Dallas, Texas. So I was looking at cities kind of closer on the eastern seaboard without it being somewhere that got too cold, without it being in the Midwest. I knew I kind of wanted to stay south. So my family's in the Midwest and I was like, all right, somewhere that's close to get to them. So when I was originally moving, I was thinking about Raleigh-Durham, not Charlotte at all. But every time I mentioned going to North Carolina, somebody was like, oh, you're gonna love Charlotte. Oh yeah, my friend moved to Charlotte. And I'm thinking, I don't know anything about Charlotte. I don't know nobody in Charlotte. I was not thinking about Charlotte at all, but it kept coming up in conversation. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go check it out. Booked the flight. Came here in April 2018. I had a long weekend here. I rented a car, stayed in a hotel, which I later learned is in South Park. Stayed in the hotel and drove myself around pretty much in the city. Drove myself around, and before I came down, I was looking at how the housing is and things like that, just in case I liked it. I got in contact with an apartment locator, and even though I wasn't sure I was moving to Charlotte, I kind of wanted to see how the housing was. At that time, the building that I ended up moving into was not even built when I came down to visit. Like, it was not even built. So when I'm driving, I'm like, I don't want to live over here, which I found out later was Dilworth. You know how Dilworth is kind of residential, but it has a lot of properties coming up. So I was able to take that weekend, drive around, and then as I was coming down, I found out that I had a cousin that actually lives here, him and his family up north. And so I was able to kind of meet with them for that weekend, and then they were telling me about different areas. We kind of went around. By the time I got back on the plane on that Sunday, I decided I'm moving to Charlotte. And that was that. One thing you want to consider when you're moving to Charlotte, really what helped me a lot was doing my research on the areas to live in. As a single woman, like I said, I don't have children. I am not a millennial. I'm in my 40s. So I have kind of a different outlook on things as, you know, moving to Charlotte as a single woman in her 40s, no children, totally unencumbered, free to do what I want, free to live in the type of area that I wanted to. So I was really focused on living closer to uptown, kind of like in the heart of things. And I found a place in Dilworth, and it was brand new, one of the brand new buildings. Nobody had ever lived in it before. So for me, that was a major plus. Moving here now, it's definitely post-pandemic, the prices have gone back up, and I'm even relocating again now to a different area of town, or back to, I should say, uptown area now, and the prices have definitely gone up. So if you're moving here or considering moving here, depending on where you want to stay, definitely take into account there are a ton of new apartment buildings being built, lots of modern updates and things like that. I mean, it's just a lot of apartments, lots and lots of condos and things like that being built. You won't have an issue finding it, but you will need to, figure out your budget and stuff like that, because on the higher end, which I kind of think is outrageous, depending on where you are. If you're living close to Uptown, Dilworth, Uptown, which is called downtown, which is technically downtown, but they call it Uptown, Dilworth, Uptown, South End, Midtown, all of those areas up there where it's a lot to do, a lot of walkable areas and things like that, you're going to pay a little bit more. You get newer buildings most times, but you're going to pay for it. So keep that in mind. If you're moving here, especially like I did from another state, I got an apartment locator because I didn't want to have to take all my time visiting here to find a place to live. I wanted some areas. I was like, boom, show me where the city is. This is how much I have to spend. This is the type of apartment I want. And they did all the legwork for me. So all I had to do was look at a list, look at the website, boom, 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 and I picked my place to live. So if you're moving from out of state to Charlotte, I would definitely recommend getting some type of housing locator, apartment locator. Most of their services are free and they get paid when you sign your lease. So you don't have to worry about them searching. If they say you have to pay them to search, it's probably a scam. So just look up apartment locators in Charlotte, especially if you're moving from out of state, and they can kind of help you kind of navigate the areas, because for me it was just a lot. So the culture in Charlotte to me is, again, I moved from Texas, from Dallas, and it is, not to compare the two because you can't really, Texas is its own weird entity, but to me Charlotte is a lot more friendlier. It's a lot more laid back. I'm originally from the Midwest, but I've lived in like 4 different states over the last 10 years. So I'm kind of familiar, with different attitudes and things. But to me, Charlotte is really friendly. The people speak and things like that. I've never had any issue as far as that is concerned. I don't know about a lot of like diverse neighborhoods, like a little Vietnam or a little Koreatown or anything like that. I don't know about that in Charlotte area. So as far as those little pockets of community, I'm sure they are here. They have amazing Ethiopian food here. I will tell you that it's an amazing Ethiopian restaurant that I really, really love here. But as far as culture is concerned, it's a lot of people that are moving to Charlotte that are transplants. So you won't have to worry about, I can probably count on one hand the number of people that I know personally that were born and raised in Charlotte. And it's not a lot. Everybody that I've met, everybody that I know here now, they are all transplants. So if you're moving from out of state, you definitely won't be alone in that. People are flocking to Charlotte like crazy from all over the place. So you definitely won't be alone in that. It's just a different it's kind of laid back. It's not, overly pretentious or anything like that, in my opinion and in my experience. So it's kind of cool in that aspect. Job market here in Charlotte, I don't work in an office anymore. When I moved here, I didn't have a job until like a week before I moved. I was doing everything long distance, applying for jobs. I flew in for an interview like a month before, and I was like, yeah, I got an address here. I did not have an address here. I picked one of the apartments that I was looking at and just used their general address on my resume. So I was getting more calls back if I just had located in Charlotte, because I was able to fly in and do an interview, thankfully. And I only had to do that once for one interview in the first job, and it was absolutely I don't know if y'all believe in luck or whatever, but it was a blessed opportunity. It was stupid easy. Like, this was probably one of the easiest jobs and way to get a job for me. It just all was really, really smooth. But I know the job market here is hugely in healthcare. Huge banking industry, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, they are huge employers here. There's a bazillion hospitals here, healthcare systems, and things like that. And insurance is really, really big here in the Charlotte area. So if you're in any of those, you shouldn't have an issue finding employment. This is all pre-pandemic though, so let me specify that. Pre-pandemic, I know the job market was kind of booming. Obviously now we are coming slowly but surely out of the pandemic, so they say, but I cannot speak on post-pandemic employment. Right now, I'm freelancing, working for myself, so I'm not really working for anybody else, which is totally fine. And that's another thing about Charlotte. Charlotte is a great place to be a creative. If you're an artist, if you're a blogger, influencer, photographer, Charlotte is has a really good artsy kind of a scene. So if you're into that type of thing, you shouldn't have any issue connecting and things like that here. Dating in Charlotte. No, let's talk about something else. In all seriousness, dating in Charlotte, I'm assuming it's just like somewhere else, like everywhere else. I have girlfriends in different parts of the country, and everybody says the same thing about dating. It is what you make it. Sometimes it's trash, sometimes it's great. I do miss, if I had to even mention Dallas and Charlotte in the same breath, I do miss seeing fine men at every turn in Dallas or in the Dallas area. Like, there was no shortage of fine ass men in Dallas. Charlotte, nah. So the pros of moving to Charlotte to me has been that it's been easy enough for me to find housing for now. But again, this is all pre-pandemic. I'm searching for a new place to live now, and it's kind of proven a little bit more difficult than it had been before. But it is a really growing city. Even since I have been here in these 2.5 years, it has been so much change. You can ask anybody who has lived here for a while. They like, we don't even recognize it anymore. It's just growing so much. It is a lot of gentrifying going on with areas that were older, and now they're building out the new houses, you know, the cookie cutter kind of houses right in between these old neighborhoods, which I totally hate. I feel like Charlotte has a lot of opportunity to renew their old neighborhoods, but that might be better suited for a native to speak on. But from what I see, you know, it's changing just like every other major city. These condos, apartments, and things popping up in the middle of a hood that's been there for years and years. But, you know, it's not overly expensive to me, again, because of where I was coming from before to kind of compare it to. It's pretty much the average. There are, you know, more buildings coming up. There may be some specials and stuff. So my opinion on moving here, you could definitely move here and make a good life for yourself, especially as a 40-something single woman. I can really speak to it that I've had, for the most part, an enjoyable time getting to learn the city. I kind of feel like as soon as I was getting my footing, that the pandemic happened. So I'm anxious to see, you know, how I'm gonna get back to building a social life and connections and exploring more of what Charlotte actually has to offer as a full, complete city, you know, post-pandemic and things. So yeah, it has a lot of pluses. The food in Charlotte, it's a lot of food to choose from. For me, in my opinion, again, it's not always a lot of good food to choose from. It's a lot of food, lots of places. You'll never be short of, you know, but it just depends on what your taste is, what you're looking for. You know, I have a couple places that I absolutely loved, and I've tried some places that got a lot of hype, and I was like, girl, what is this, honey? No. But it just depends on what you're looking for, as it is with any city that you're moving to. But it is a lot of pros here. To me, Charlotte is super easy to get around. The highways are, to me, coming from out in Texas, the highways are nothing. The traffic is nothing. Traveling 15 minutes to some, you know, other location, that's nothing to me. It's not a lot of highway driving that you have to do. You can pretty much navigate on the streets and things like that. It's really laid back. It's a ton of Black people here. You'll never be short of seeing Black people, you know, in different areas. But yeah, it has a lot of pros and then some cons. Obviously, you are in the South. You know, you are in the South. I'm just saying, that's pretty much, but it's America now, so that's a whole nother subject. But yeah, it's Charlotte has been a good experience for me. I would recommend, if anybody's like, I want to move here, heck yeah, why not? It's a good place for opportunity. It's growing like bananas. And again, because mostly everybody that I know I have met have all been transplants here, you'll never run out of people to talk to from different areas and get their perspective and stuff like that. So Yeah, Charlotte, if I had to rate it, Charlotte on the scale of 1 to 10, I would at least give it a good solid 7.5 out of 10. So yes, it is what you make it, just like every other place that you would move to. It definitely is what you would make it. But to me, being intentional about your move and what you really want will make it a lot easier to make that decision to come down here or not to come down here. So yeah. So yeah, I hope that helped. That was just my little brief blurb. I've seen a lot of videos, about should you move to Charlotte? What does Charlotte have to offer? Charlotte does have a ton of things to offer, but I've seen a lot of videos from people who were either family, they had kids and stuff, or they were much, much younger. So I kind of want to give my perspective on it as somebody who's a little bit older, single, living, the city life or what have you in Charlotte, experiencing new things. I'm also not a person who is afraid to go out and explore new things. I don't just stay on one side of town, which is how I'm able to know, how to get around the city and how to get around in the suburbs and stuff like that, because I like to go out and explore. So if you're coming down here to visit and you want to know, should I move to Charlotte? Am I going to like it? I think you'll like it. I really do. I think it's a comfortable town. It's laid back. It's enough to do for family. If you want to go out and do the artsy stuff, lots and lots of nature if you're into outdoors, and you can get to the beach or the mountains in about 2.5 hours. So that's really cool. And also you can take a trip, over to Georgia, Savannah in a matter of hours, down to Atlanta, up north to Virginia and things like that. So it's a really nice area, nice city to get in and out of. So yeah, overall, I would definitely recommend moving to Charlotte. And this is, again, the opinions of someone who is a transplant, who has been here 2.5 years. I feel like I have barely tapped the surface on what Charlotte has to offer. So I'm excited to see post-pandemic what all Charlotte has in store for me, and to see if I'm gonna make it my home permanently, or to see if I'm gonna give it another year and then I'm gonna be out of here. That remains to be seen. But for now, I'm good. Loving the Queen City. So make sure you leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're trying to move to Charlotte and you have questions, go ahead and ask me. Again, these are my thoughts and opinions. So if you have a comment, make sure you keep it cute. Make sure you keep it respectful. And we'll be all good. Until the next time, y'all, I will see y'all very, very soon for my next video. Take care. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll talk to y'all later.